Hi, everybody. Sorry, I kind of zoned out there.
I know you did, so I tried to end the podcast. I thought it was the perfect crime. Technically, I've done my job for the day.
Yeah, as soon as somebody says bye, the podcast has to just stop immediately. It's the law.
It's written in our contract.
That's when we fade out and the ending music fades up.
We go to a strange dimension we're not allowed to speak of when we fade out.
We do.
We're reborn every Saturday morning.
So, I'm Mike.
I'm not.
Now, let's play the opening to this show, shall we?
Do it.
Fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot, Mega Man. Super fighting robot. Mega Man, super fighting robot. Mega Man, super fighting robot. Mega Man, fighting to save the world.
It's Super Fighting Robot Mega Man.
Again?
It's him.
You tricked me.
I did. I brought it up last episode, and I was like, he won't even suspect when I make us watch it again.
Yeah, I did think this means that we're covering two shows by the same company. We're
That's okay.
covering two Ruby Spears shows in a row, but it is okay. I'm fine with it.
It was either that or another episode of Donkey Kong Country.
You always want to watch Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, it's always the correct decision.
So anyway, Mega Man. I like the opening animation.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, the animation in it is like super good. It looks like anime. I mean, some
And
of
then
it
the show
is.
starts.
Yeah. What about the song though? Because
It's all the right kinds of terrible.
it's really catchy, but it's also
But it
very
sucks.
annoying.
It's very hard to talk about because I hate it and I love it at the same time.
Yeah, I hate it, but it's been in my head all day.
Yeah, it'll stick with me for a couple days after I watch this.
Super fighting robot.
Mega Man.
This episode is called Electric Nightmare. And it's written by an old friend of ours.
Whom?
It's written by Jeffrey Scott.
What has he done?
He wrote the entire Pac-Man series.
Oh, yeah.
And he also wrote the entire first season of Captain N.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He wrote for a couple other things as well. He wrote for Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. But we haven't looked at any episodes he wrote of that show. Not yet.
I always forget which Sonic shows we have and have not covered because there's too many.
We have covered Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and the Sonic the Hedgehog OVA and Sonic Underground.
Okay.
We have not covered Sonic the Hedgehog, which was the show that had Sally Acorn.
Mm-hmm.
We have not covered Sonic X, Sonic Boom, or Sonic Prime. I think that's all of them.
Oh, is that all?
So we've covered roughly half of the Sonic shows that exist, I think.
It's too much Sonic. There's too much in the world.
And that's not counting the short stuff like Sonic Mania Adventures or the Sonic Colors cartoon they did.
Mega Man!
Mega Man! This episode aired September 18th, 1994. Just one short week after the last episode that we looked at. Can you believe it?
I can't!
They made this whole episode in a week.
That's ridiculous!
That's not true, by the way. Nobody cite me as a source on that. That's a lie. That's a
That's
lie
not
I
your
told. We do those sometimes.
Don't let them know.
The Simpsons episode
Tarnish
wasn't canon.
No, you're gonna tarnish our reputation as the leading source of video game cartoon information.
So here we are. We're at a power plant or a power company.
I guess it's a power company.
Yeah, they never call it a power plant. They always say it's a power company. So this isn't where they make the electricity. This is just where they sell it.
Where they box it and ship it out.
And Bright Man shows up.
He's there and his head is very bright.
Yeah, Bright Man is from the period where they had started outsourcing the Robot Master designs to fans.
Isn't that where Pharaoh Man comes from?
Yeah, pretty much all of them after Mega Man 1. Mega Man 1, the Robot Masters were all designed in-house. But then Mega Man 2 through at least 7, they were all made by a competition and fans submitted or maybe there were some, I'm not sure, maybe not every one of them was fan made, but most of them.
I want to meet the genius behind Snake Man.
Is he your favorite?
He's my favorite.
I don't know who my favorite is.
His power's so dumb. It's exactly what I would want if I were a robot master.
I do like Skullman, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look up one real quick. Yeah, Starman I think is pretty cool, because I like stars too.
They're alright.
I think I like Gemini Man.
Is that the man who's twice?
Yeah. I know, though.
I want to write a movie called The Man Who's Twice.
Remember the superhero we came up with?
No.
14 Man Man?
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
It's just 14 people.
When did we come up with that?
It was years ago.
It would have to be.
Yeah, if I remember it and you don't. Anyway. So the first episode of this show only had Robot Masters from the original game. This episode gives us two new ones, who are both from Mega Man 4, which made me wonder if 4 was the newest game at the time the show came out, but it wasn't. They already had 6 out by this time.
Oh.
So then I got curious whether any robots from Mega Man 6 ever showed up, and they didn't. But
that doesn't make sense.
But there were robots from Mega Man 5 in the show, so...
That still feels like a missed marketing opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. From what I remember reading last time, a lot of the Robot Masters appearances were dictated by the toy company.
Mm-hmm.
So the toy company were basically saying, we're about to release toys of this one and this one, so you need to put them in the show. And then I think there were quite a few toys that never got made. So the characters are in the show, but the toys didn't get made.
That's fun.
That is fun. I like it. Bright Man is how would you describe him?
Oafish.
Yeah.
But I feel like that can describe most of the Robot Masters.
He's played by Gary Chalk, probably the actor we've talked about the most on this show.
Yeah.
He's also playing Gutsman in this show, and we've talked about him before because of his portrayals of Grounder in Sonic the Hedgehog and King Hippo in Captain N. He's good. He's good at what he does.
He is. It's not his fault that he is Bright Man.
So Dr. Wily and Proto Man are here in their flying skull ship. And we see that Bright Man, Cut Man, and Guts Man are all hanging around down below. Bright Man, yeah, he just lights things up.
Yeah, I feel like he's pretty useless if you're just facing the other direction when he brights his light.
He does make a whole bunch of fleeing people fall down.
Yeah, which didn't make any sense, because they were running in the opposite direction, and all he does is flash his light.
And it was really dark in there, so you'd think he would have just helped them see their way.
Thanks, Bright Man. We've gotten to safety.
Yeah. Dr. Wily asks Proto Man to attach an override relay to the master control computer. That sounds like a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, this whole plan sounds like a real thing. I'm going to put this override in the power company and suddenly all electronics are mine.
I can control them with this Mad Cat's joystick.
I can also play Earthworm Jim.
I loved the dedication to lovingly rendering this PC joystick. It was the most detailed thing in the episode.
Yep.
Someone on the animation staff owned that joystick. 100%.
Yeah, like they didn't even try to make a science-y looking doodad. It was just a joystick.
Yeah. It literally just looks like someone had that plugged into their Amstrad.
But it's a menacing weapon.
So Mega Man shows up, and Cutman says,
I'm going to make paper dolls out of you!
didn't he say exactly that in the first episode?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's like the exact cadence and everything, to the point where I wonder if they just used a clip from the first episode.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
I mean, at the rate that they're dropping one-liners and terrible puns, they're gonna have to reuse some of them.
Yeah.
It's every other line.
Oh, Mega Man's puns were unbearable.
I hate to take the joy out of your joystick, Dr. Wily. Thanks for the race. Now I'll have to tan your hide. You really got a charge out of that one.
You mean pun bearable?
Oh! You belong in
did
this
it.
show.
Yeah, I do.
I do love that since the first episode, nobody has corrected Mega Man's actor on the way he's pronouncing the names of the other Robot Masters.
What did he missay?
He pronounces them like their last names.
Oh, Gutsman?
Yeah, Gutsman. He doesn't say Gutsman, he says Gutsman.
Hey, Gutsman!
I'm George Gutsman.
It's so funny. I hope he does it for the whole show. Because he's the only one doing it. None of the other characters pronounce him like that.
It's too late to stop now.
Now it's a character trait.
Mm-hmm.
During the whole pun exchange, Brightman tells Mega Man to smile because he wants to get a picture of the end of his life or something.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like standard fight shit talk, but he's actually holding a camera.
He sure is.
So he was being sincere.
No, he's just really dedicated to the bit. Like, he planned this one out. He went home and he wrote this.
And then he brought a prop.
Yeah.
Brightman, why are you bringing that camera?
It's going to be great when it happens.
You'll
Trust
see.
me.
You'll see. You'll see.
Why aren't you guys bringing props for your one-liners and defeating Mega Man?
Why didn't you bring any paper dolls?
I did, but I cut them all up.
It's what I do.
I have a serious problem.
So Wily uses his joystick to wrap Mega Man up in wires and just explode him.
It was great.
He explodes. He's dead now.
Yeah, but then we find out that they're just playing with dolls.
Just playing with dolls. It's so funny. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny in the way it is, but just like this zoom out to the reveal that it's actually just Dr. Wily and Proto Man playing with toys.
I was a little bit confused because the other robots are present. They're in the background. And I was like, so did they choose to be brutally defeated by Mega Man in their little make-believe game?
Who do you think was playing as Mega Man? Do you think it was Wily?
I think it was Proto Man.
I think if it was Proto Man, Mega Man would have been being more like, I'm a dumb idiot, you know?
Yeah, but then the reveal wouldn't have been as tasty.
Because Proto Man's pissed off, right? Because he didn't get to be the one that killed Mega Man in the game.
True.
That's why I feel like Wily was the one playing Mega Man, because he's the one who kills him.
Good point.
and everyone else who attacks Mega Man gets beaten up. Anyway,
Mega Man seemed a little bit too competent until the very end. I'm like, who?
well, that's the thing, right? Because he's competent while he's fighting everyone except Wily.
That's good. Yep. You're
Yeah,
right.
see? And that's when he dies, is when Wily attacks him. So with the game over, they head off to the power station. Sorry, the power company to do this for real.
Their bill is overdue and they're not paying.
And Wily has a pet toaster, just a pink toaster that he's petting.
I completely forgot that never came back up.
It never comes back. It's just here.
I guess it was just a proof of concept, but I was really expecting this toaster to have a major role.
Yeah, me too. So meanwhile, now we head across to the World Robo Expo, where Dr. Light is unveiling some new robots that he's made. He's made a nanny, a butler, and a maid. And they look too much like humans for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can only really tell that they're robots because we're told.
Yeah, the maid is the only one that's noticeably robotic, and that's only like in her arms.
Yeah, she's just got metal forearms and like the palms of her hands. That's it, really.
The butler is completely stealth.
Yep. And the nanny, but we only really see like 2 shots of the nanny, so...
Yeah.
Mega Man and Roll are here, and he's being sexist to her again.
As usual.
Yep.
I'm glad Dr. Light designed a better robo-maid. Now I'll have more time to concentrate on being a robo-hero.
No offense, Roll, but I think you better stick to your housework.
Not a very progressive show.
It isn't, but it is, because Roll is still an absolute savage who cuts the robot in half and sucks her face off.
That's true. But at the same time, like, even when it's trying to be... Because it's clearly trying to be like, girls can do it too. But even then, it's sexist about it, because when she shows up to help, it's just like, well, obviously, she goes to the beauty department and fights a beautician robot.
Well, she does get abducted by the beautician robot
Oh, yeah, that too.
and shot in the face with Homer's makeup gun.
I forgot about that. But that's way ahead of here. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I know, I just really liked it.
So Rush, what is it Rush does? He like walks up to the robots and then he sneezes and knocks them all down for some reason.
I think the maid is holding something that he wants to eat.
Oh, she's got like cookies or something.
Yeah, and he goes up and sniffs it, and it apparently has an allergy attack.
And then Dr. Light yells at him because apparently sneezing is misbehavior. Why did you program him with a sinus?
Like, I had that thought too, but I thought maybe it's because he had gone up to try and steal the food in the first place.
Yeah, maybe, but...
It was still dumb, and even dumber was when Mega Man was like, maybe you should program a robot dog catcher. It's like, Mega Man, that is your main mode of transportation. Why are you threatening him?
It's your main mode of transportation and your best friend. Because, like, what friends does Mega Man have? He spends all day hanging out with his dad and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
It's just his dog. That's the closest he's got to a real friend.
There's nothing wrong with that, but don't threaten your best friend dog.
Yeah.
If I had a dog, I'd never leave the house again.
Well, yeah. So they hear an explosion, and Mega Man goes to check it out with Rush. It sounded like it was, like, right outside the building.
Yeah.
But then when they fly away, it's far away enough that there needs to be a transition.
We don't question it.
Okay, yeah, no, we shouldn't. If we question everything like that, we'll be here all day.
Mm-hmm. We gotta let some things slide by on cartoon logic.
I love when they get to the power company, Mega Man says that they have to switch to stealth mode, which apparently means nothing for him.
He just walks right in!
Yeah, he just walks right in and, like, announces himself.
Rush at least puts on some, like, rubber inflatable shoes so he makes less noise, but Mega Man went in first and he didn't do anything!
Yeah, he doesn't even, like, sneak. He just casually walks in.
To the front door!
Stealth mode.
Which means just the same old thing.
Well, Mega Man has two modes. He has stealth mode or he has air horn mode.
It's like watching a YouTube video from the mid 2010s.
I love how they get in and Proto Man straight up tells Mega Man that they were playing with toys before this.
I loved that. Like, it's embarrassing enough that you guys were doing it, but you made no secret of it.
No, they were like proud of it.
Like, we practiced Mega Man. There's no way you could win.
Well, he doesn't even say it was like practice or planning or anything. He literally says it was a game they were playing. Yeah, Mega Man asks them how the game went, and Bright Man lies, says that he destroyed Mega Man in it, which is not what happened.
No, but Mega Man says, then I might as well return the favor, and beats the shit out of Bright Man.
Kills him and steals his head.
Gives it to his dog.
Like, do we see him again? I don't think we do.
I don't think so. If we do, it's not in any major way.
Rips his head off and gives it to Rush, yeah.
He might be in the background once Wily becomes the governor.
Oh, yeah!
This episode really goes off the rails. No pun intended.
Usually Mega Man just kind of downloads their weapon. He just has to touch them and then he can copy their weapon. But he straight up rips Bright Man's head bulb off and tosses it around instead.
Yeah, so then he can't get up and start flashing everybody.
That is all he does.
He is a public menace.
I love that since his robots are being dumb, Wily just like attaches the override relay himself without even leaving his ship.
Yeah.
Which begs the
Like,
question.
why would you do that in the first
Yeah,
place?
exactly.
I feel like it's less risky to have your giant ship do it than your incompetent, bumbling robots.
I think he just wanted to give Proto Man something to do.
That's fair.
Like, if I don't keep him busy, he gets destructive.
He gets so sad and mopey, and it's a real downer.
So Mega Man bends a steam pipe. He like bends it all the way down from the ceiling and attaches it to Wily's ship. I don't know why an electric company has a steam pipe.
That's where all of the excess electricity goes. It turns into steam. Or maybe it's solely to power their steam whistle.
Maybe it's a steam-powered power station.
Maybe.
The whole city is steam-powered. You could do that if the city was built on an active volcano.
Maybe it is.
Maybe it is.
Is there
No,
a volcano
wait.
there?
Wait, didn't they say it was New York?
I don't remember.
I think the first episode actually said it was New York, so I don't
It's
think...
future New York. They put it on a volcano.
Oh, okay. They moved it.
You can do that in the future.
So Wily's ship fills up with steam and then explodes for some reason. But Wily escapes in a funny little pod, so he's fine. So Wily's yelling at his robots for the failure. And he says that he has a spy in Dr. Light's lab.
I would really like to know how that happened.
What, how he put a spy in there?
Yeah, because it immediately cuts to a scene of Mega Man in the bathroom with the robot butler.
I want to know why Mega Man has to use the bathroom.
He was just washing himself to get all the victory juice off.
Super fighting robot. Bathroom break.
Yeah, but so it's obvious that it's these robots that Dr. Light has just made and
Yeah.
showed off.
Yeah.
But how?
No, yeah, there's no explanation as to how. Dr. Light made these robots, and he's just unveiled them for the first time while Wily was busy. At what point... You know what this episode is missing? This episode is missing the scene where Wily sneaks into the lab in the dark,
I was thinking the same thing.
sabotages the robots, and then Dr. Light turns on the light and chases him out.
I was thinking the same thing.
It should happen at least once an episode, I think. For anyone who doesn't remember, it happened twice in the first episode, and we loved it very much.
It was such a cheap tactic, and it got us every time.
Like, we're 2 episodes in, and it's been established 3 times that Wiley just kind of struts into Light's lab whenever he wants.
Yeah, it's like Dee Dee getting into Dexter's lab.
It's the only explanation for how he turned one of these robots into his spy. He must have got in somehow.
Maybe they assumed that we would assume because it happened so many times in the first episode.
Yeah. What you gotta do is make sure that you've filled every gap, like around pipes and stuff in the wall.
He'll compress his rib cage like a rat and squeeze in.
Yeah, people say that you can just fill the holes with like steel wool, but that won't work because he'll just chew around the wool. Get in.
Anyway, now the bathroom is full of acid.
Yeah. Well, first, Mega Man, like the robot butler offers him some toothpaste, and he says,
The only thing that can give me cavities is dynamite.
He's human, but only to a point.
yeah, but he still needs to use the bathroom.
I told you he was washing his face.
But why wouldn't Dr. Light just clean him in the lab? Professionally
Dr.
clean
Light's
him.
a busy man. He was doing something else. He was at his drawing table.
Why isn't the butler just power washing Mega Man in the garage?
He wasn't programmed to do that. He's programmed to offer toothbrushes and nothing else.
Yeah, and hand over trays of cleaning products.
Yeah.
It's the only things we see him do.
It's the maid who gets to scrub him down. The
Ah,
butler just offers the scrubatives.
gets to scrub him down. I see where your head's at.
It's a dubious honor.
So yeah, the butler leaves, and then we see somebody bar the door from the outside and drill a hole, and then start pouring a liquid through. Now, at what point did you figure out it was the maid? Because for me, it was here.
It was as soon as I saw her robot hands.
Yes. Because all you see is the hands of the person doing this, and the maid is the only one who has visibly robotic hands. So, and I noticed that the first time we saw her. So as soon as we saw these hands, I was like, well, that's the maid.
Yeah. I guess there was some intention to their design after all.
No, because I don't think they want us to have figured it out yet. I think it's supposed to be a mystery still.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't know.
You think they wanted some kids to figure it out?
Yeah, why not?
That could make sense, yeah. All right. But I thought it was too obvious. Also, it wasn't until near the end of the episode that it occurred to me that the maid also has a German accent, just like Wiley.
Oh.
You didn't think
See,
of
I
that?
didn't. No, I thought that she had a German accent specifically so they could make a stupid Arnold Schwarzenegger joke later in the
Yeah,
episode.
they did do that. I don't know, maybe. Mega Man can't get out of the bathroom because the bathroom is sealed with super steel to keep Wiley out.
Yeah, Dr. Light reinforced every surface in the lab so Dr. Wiley couldn't break in.
Oh, well, we don't know that. We just know that he reinforced the bathroom. We also
Well-
don't know when he did that. So maybe it was when they were still friends. I'm tired of Wiley using my bathroom.
Maybe it was just to protect the outside from what was going on within the bathroom. I knew I shouldn't have had the ultra spicy sauce on my chimichangas.
He does specify it's to keep Wiley out, though, so.
That's true. Maybe that's just what he told Mega Man.
Oh, yes, it's to keep Wiley out.
Mega Man must never know of my irritable bowels.
As Mega Man dies, crying for help, Dr. Light notices the lights flickering in his lab, but doesn't really think much of it.
Yeah, it's a total coincidence that Dr. Light has passed by at this moment. He doesn't think too much about the fact that the door is barred.
No, that doesn't even happen yet. We've got a while before that happens.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, Light's just at his drawing table. He sees the lights flickering, and he's just like, "Huh? Oh well."
That's right. I just assumed that was because the power company was getting taken over.
I think it is, but
he
Mega
doesn't
Man
care.
is dying right now, supposedly.
Yeah, he keeps
Meanwhile,
telling us it's gonna kill him, but it doesn't actually do any noticeable damage.
no. Even when he's like, "I've got seconds left to live," there's absolutely no issues that we can
No.
see. I'm not convinced it was even acid, if I'm being honest.
It looked like it was just hot noodle water.
Yeah, it just looked like ocean water or something.
I made too much spaghetti. I gotta get rid of the evidence.
Meanwhile, back at the power plant, Dr.
Wiley's
Wily. This time, Dr. Wily is unhindered because he snuck in at night.
Almost like he should have done that in the first place.
Yeah. And he's got Proto Man and Pharaoh Man with him. Pharaoh Man, also from Mega Man 4. Cooler than Bright Man.
Yeah, I got no objections to that.
A guard picks up the phone and tries to call for the army, but Dr. Wily's on the other end. Because now he's in control of all the electrical things.
And the phone wraps itself around him
Yeah.
because Wiley's got his joystick.
Yeah, well, that's how that works, apparently.
Right.
Phones have always been prehensile. It's just that you can't control them without a joystick.
Yeah. You gotta plug your joystick in to the power company.
Do you think kids today would even recognize this as a phone? Because it's like an old corded phone.
It is, but I feel like there's enough old media that kids know what a corded phone looks like.
Yeah, for now.
For now, give it a couple decades and no.
So we go back to Mega Man, who is now fully submerged in acid. The room is now just a pool of acid. He tells us he only has seconds to live, but he looks fine. This was the biggest laugh I got in the episode.
Oh, me too.
Dr. Light walking by.
Casually.
The pause between him seeing the bolted door and realizing something is wrong is just long enough to be really funny.
Now, why would anyone bar the outside of the bathroom door? Oh, no!
Dr. Light really doesn't come across as a genius in this show, does he?
I think he's a genius of a very specific, like, narrow type of thing, you know?
That's fair.
I think he's a genius of robotics. And
Not common
maybe,
sense.
yeah, maybe not so smart in anything else. Somehow, he is able to safely open this door.
I don't understand. Mega Man, a robotic boy, is talking about dissolving in this acid, and a flood of it comes pouring out like a blood elevator in The Shining, and doesn't do anything to Dr. Light.
No, I'm telling you, I don't think it was acid.
Like, it's pooled on the ground, and Dr. Light's just walking around in it, and his shoes are fine.
Meanwhile, this robot boy who was just telling him that only dynamite could damage his teeth. I'm telling you, it was just water. Like, there's no evidence that it was actually acid.
This noodle water's too salty. I can't stand it.
It didn't dissolve anything.
No, not even any of the basic objects in the bathroom.
The only evidence we have that it was acid is that Mega Man assumed it was acid when he first saw it. And then he floated around in it for like 20 minutes, thinking about how he was going to dissolve any second.
I was hoping that like his paint job would get scuffed up a little bit, just to let us know that there are stakes.
Yeah. Or they could have just had like some steam rising off him and like a hissing sound.
Yeah. Or like show the toilet paper getting dissolved.
Yeah. Anything. Anything to make it seem like there's a stake here.
Take our word for it. It's acid.
Yeah, when Roll showed up and Mega Man is like,
Someone tried to dissolve me.
I thought that was really funny.
That was good.
So Dr. Light realizes there must be a spy, but he still leaves those 3 robots to clean everything up.
Right. He's like, something suspicious is going on here. You three robots that are just standing there watching. Do something.
Mega Man lets us know that he suspects the butler did it. And I think that's what they wanted us to think.
I just kind of assumed that all of them had a hand in it.
No, it was just the maid, I think.
Just the maid?
I think so.
I mean, she's clearly the most obvious one, but...
Well, we never see the other two do anything bad, or ever again.
True. I don't know, I thought the butler was the decoy or something.
Maybe.
And then the maid came and poured the noodle water all over Mega Man.
Well, the butler left before the maid came and did that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He lulls him into a false sense of security.
Gives him some cleaning products.
Right. He knows that Mega Man is incapacitated while he's washing his face.
He knows when you're awake.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake.
So here's a part I didn't get. This is where the police chief calls Dr. Light's lab to tell them what's happening and ask for Mega Man's help.
Mm-hmm.
But since Wily controls everything electrical, doesn't that mean that Wily allowed this call to go through and is ready for them with the trap?
Wily has one joystick. You think you can control everything at once with one joystick?
It sure seems like he is. Meanwhile, we see Rush just following a line of treats into a trap. And guess what? Who it is? It's the maid.
I had no idea.
And she opens up Rush's head and puts something in it.
I feel like that's a design oversight that you can so easily get into the core of your fighting robot dog and reprogram him.
I think there's a lot of design flaws in all of the robots in this show. Mega Man leaves with Rush, but he goes haywire on the flight there and crashes Mega Man into an alley where Cutman and Gutsman are hanging out. I assume waiting for him, and they weren't just, hanging out in this alley for fun.
Yeah, it's never quite made clear exactly how Rush is broken.
I think he's just programmed to home in on this alley, this specific alley.
Cutman Alley.
Yeah, because Mega Man fights them a little bit, and then he hops back on Rush to leave, but he just gets brought right back to the alley again. And then Mega Man's sitting there while Cutman and Gutsman talk about what they're going to do to him, and then he just says,
"Don't I get a say in this?"
And it's like, Mega Man, that's not a very good comeback.
No, he has a valid point. It's just dumb one-liners. This whole show is just dumb one-liners.
Yeah. Using a trash can and its lid.
I did love this part. It was so stupid.
What does he do? He puts the can on Cutman's head.
Mm-hmm.
And then slams the lid into Gutsman's face.
I forget what he did to Gutsman, but somehow Gutsman is incapacitated in a way that he can't tell he's beating the crap out of Cutman.
Yeah. And that's where Mega Man finds the chip in Rush's head, which is huge.
Right, how can you close his head with that thing in?
There must be a really deep slot for it. I have to make sure that I leave in the sabotage slot.
Right! And this is where any harmful malware can go.
You never know when you'll need harmful malware. So they head to a department store called Gizmo City. And when Mega Man gets there, Wily is personally threatening a random man with an exercise bike.
What's the matter? A little exercise never hurt anyone.
He's not there in person, but he's appeared on a TV screen specifically to threaten this random man.
Right. You sold me this exercise bike 3 years ago and I haven't used it once.
That's what it's all about. It's like a Doofenshmirtz scheme.
Yeah.
The bike also does not seem to be electric in any way, but he's controlling it anyway.
Listen, there's a lot about this that doesn't make sense. At one point, a vacuum cleaner zooms by and it's not plugged into anything.
Most of the stuff that Mega Man fights here isn't plugged into anything. The egg beater isn't either. Because they're trailing power cords that aren't plugged in.
At one point, there's a man stuck on an exercise machine, but I don't think those exercise machines are electric.
No, I have that note too. He's just like, he was just trying it out and it was too heavy for him. This is a coincidence.
I never should have tried to show off.
Oh man, now I'm stuck in an exercise machine and all the electrical things are going wild. Could this day get any worse? This is where Roll shows up. But she shows up to the cosmetics department because she's a girl, do you see?
No.
So Wiley threatens to give her a makeover because she's a girl.
I thought it was weird that there was another robot, the beautician, because we'd
Yes.
never seen her before.
Yes, and she seems to be one of Light's newest models that just got unveiled the day before.
Right.
But she wasn't one of them on the stage, and now here she is working here.
Yeah, like we see Roll get apprehended by someone with pink hair, and you can only assume it's a robot because of the situation, but we have never seen this woman before.
No, she should have been the third one on stage instead of the nanny, I think.
I think so too.
Because then we would, like, have context for her.
Yeah.
No, I was also confused by that. Because we have to pick up from context that she's a robot. It does become clear by the end of the fight, but...
Yeah, when she gets her face sucked off.
Yeah, I think that's why they did that. I think they have her face get sucked off, showing the robotics underneath. Specifically because maybe, like, test audience kids didn't realize she was a robot.
It's grim.
It's nightmarish.
Yeah. Like the whole time I'm watching it, I was thinking about Portal 2 because in the multiplayer you play as cute little robots because when they had you play as humans, the ways that you died were so grisly and awful, nobody wanted to play it.
Yeah. Because when you're playing it single player, you don't see that because it's first person.
Right.
So you don't see what happens. Things just go black.
There's so much violence in this episode, but we don't think about it because they're robots.
Yeah, I didn't... Again, like, they're trying to do the girls can do it too thing.
Mm-hmm.
But Roll gets trapped. She gets, like, stuck in the stylist chair, and Mega Man has to rescue her. Like, she is the one who finishes off the beautician robot, but still, Mega Man had to save her first. And that's lame.
Maybe give it a couple episodes before Roll breaks out and goes crazy.
I don't know. I'm not convinced that anything's gonna... I don't think this is the kind of show that does continuity.
You don't think 1994 Mega Man cartoons are progressive?
I'm gonna... You know, I will give it more shots, but I'm not super hopeful. So they leave the department store and get chased into the subway by a hot dog cart. Also not an electric appliance, to my knowledge.
I guess we're supposed to assume because this is the robot future that everything's a little bit robotic.
Then they should have made it look like a futuristic hot dog cart.
That is a valid criticism.
Because they did not. It looks like a 90s hot dog cart.
There's all those people stuck in phone booths, and it's like, just open the door! It's not plugged into anything!
Yeah. And I am glad, though, because they run into the subway, and they hop on a train to ride back to the lab. And while they're on this train talking about how it'll take them back to the lab, I'm like, well, the train should be electric, right?
Right. That's one of the few things that it does make sense to take over.
Yeah. And then it was. I was glad that it turned out it was.
I was kind of hoping it wouldn't.
Well, just because of how annoying that would have annoyed the hell out of me.
Because of how annoying it would be, but also because of how impotent that would make Wily's plan to just take over small appliances.
People could just escape on the train. I've taken over every appliance that's below 3 feet tall.
Watch out, humanity! Your toasters are turned against you!
Meanwhile, Mega Man and Roll and Rush get off the train as it tries to kill them, and they escape from it. It's not super eventful.
No, but I have something to say about that. They hop off the train onto the tracks, and then they're like, "Oh no, it's coming back!" Like, how is a train gonna turn like that?
I didn't even think about that. You're right.
That's not how trains work.
Maybe it's a future train.
That hops the track and goes the other way.
Yeah, I guess I assumed that it was just another train, but they do specifically say that it's coming back, so.
Yep. Maybe there's like it's just the front on both sides and it reversed.
Maybe. That's very generous of you.
Thanks. I'm a generous, kind person.
Meanwhile, the governor is on TV.
At no point in any of this story are we made clear what Wiley is trying to accomplish until the governor's on TV.
Yeah, announcing that he's turning the position over to Wiley. Casually announcing it.
Right.
He doesn't seem threatened or scared.
Maybe off screen there's like a blender whirling up.
His foot's in a blender. His toes are like inches from the blade.
As soon as the camera goes off, you just hear ring.
Yeah, so Wiley's the governor now.
And surprise, surprise, he's elected all the robots as into positions of power.
Light's watching this on TV while he works on something, which I assume is related.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's making the thing that he gives to Mega Man.
Oh, right.
But I did like to think that he was just like disinterested in what was happening. Just like, oh, that's annoying. Well, back to work. I guess it won't really change my life in the short term.
Right. Need to put on something soothing to have on in the background. Where's Kitchen Nightmares?
Why do I keep putting on the news? It only riles me up. Great, my sworn enemy's the governor. Perfect.
Could today get any worse? At least I'm not stuck in an exercise machine.
Great, I've fired him for gross incompetence and now he's the governor.
There's egg on my face.
It's a good thing I live on the outskirts.
I'm not in his jurisdiction.
He has no control over my tax band.
Or my toaster.
Yeah, he seems to be safe. He must be off the grid, right? That must be what it is.
Running on his own steam.
Yeah. He's got a Met in a hamster wheel powering his lab.
Hamster Man.
Remember how there was like a single Met that was Roll's sidekick in the first episode that apparently never shows up again?
I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's just not in it anymore. It's weird.
Maybe he's on break this week.
No, I looked it up. He never shows up again.
Oh. He got a job in a different cartoon.
They liked his performance in the cartoon so much that he got a part in the next game.
Yeah.
So while Light is working, the robot maid sneaks up on him. Her name is Doris. It's not said very much, but her name is Doris, apparently. Doris is played by Kathy Weseluk. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I hope I pronounced it right. She has been playing Spike in My Little Pony since 2012, as far as I could tell.
Still? This very day?
Yeah, still playing him.
He's the dragon, right?
He is. I was just going to say, like, usually whenever I read out My Little Pony names, I don't know who they are. I don't know. I can't tell these horses apart. I know some of the names. I know Applejack. I know Fluttershy. I know Cramble Stunch.
My favorite pony.
Like, I know those names, but I couldn't pick them out of a lineup, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You gave me 4 pictures of ponies and said, which one is Rainbow Bright? I couldn't tell you.
Rainbow Bright? I think you could pick out Rainbow Bright because she'd be the only human there. I don't know, officer. They all look the same.
But Spike Spike, I know. He was always my favorite character. He was my favorite My Little Pony. It also said that she was the voice of Koakuma in Toho.
Which Toho?
Two of them. Toho Cannonball and something else.
Are those like fan games?
I don't know. Well, if they are, there's a professional voice actress in them, apparently.
I mean, it happens.
Okay. Because I didn't know that Toho had English voices ever.
I didn't even think about that fact that it's an English voice because they rarely have Japanese voices.
Yeah. Well, it's on her IMDb, but IMDb isn't always. People can add stuff to IMDb, so maybe it's not real.
It was a mobile game and it got shut down in 2020.
Okay. There was another one though. Hang on, I'm finding it. She also has Toho Komakyo, the embodiment of Scarlet Devil, listed on here.
When did that get voice acting?
I don't know. It's listed on her IMDb. That doesn't mean that she's in it.
The embodiment of Scarlet Devil was the first Windows Toho.
Okay.
It's a very old Toho.
Yeah, there's a whole cast of voice actors here. It's a lot of Funimation people.
Did it get an anime?
It says video game.
What?
2002 video game.
What?
There's no Japanese voices listed here, just English ones.
I'm very confused.
Okay, good. So it's not just me that's confused. Because I was confused by it too. It might just be fake.
Maybe.
This might be somebody's fan cast that they've
True.
thrown up here.
The embodiment of Scarlet Devil is one of the most popular Tohos, so it gets remade a lot or gets fan work. So I was thinking it was something like that. But if it's 2002, that's when the original came out.
Well, I think sometimes IMDb just lists it as the year the original came out, even if it's been dubbed like 10 years later for anime. So that might be what happened. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking it up on Wikipedia and it says that it never even got a release outside of Japan. So I would be surprised if it had English voice acting. But hey, if anybody knows more about this out there, please let us know. Because I was confused.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, back to Megan Man.
Our old friend.
The fight scene between Mega Man and the maid is pretty good. There's some nice action there. I thought it was cool. What I didn't think was cool was the Terminator reference that she makes.
No, that was bad.
Hasta la vista, Mega Man.
That felt very forced. But once she's dead and sliced to ribbons, Dr. Light walks over casually and gives Mega Man a device to attach to the power grid, which should fix everything. It looks like a pack of cigarettes.
It sure does. I'm so glad you thought so too.
That's what I thought it was at first. Here, Mega Man, this should fix everything. Just relax.
Just take up smoking.
There's nothing we can do about this until election season anyway. There's just mayhem in the city. Just everything's going wild. People are trapped in phone booths. People are trapped in trains. Fridges are clamoring.
Food is going spoiled. Money wasted.
Cats and dogs living together.
I knew it. I knew you'd make a Ghostbusters reference.
I had to.
It's in the contract.
I love that Mega Man is trying to sneak through the city, and Wily's just watching him.
Yeah.
He sends the police robots after him.
Yeah, did they ever establish police robots before?
I don't know if we saw police robots in the first episode, but we saw like the robots who were running like TSA. We saw TSA robots at the airport. Mm-hmm. And they seem to be the same robots as this. So
I forgot about the TSA robots.
I think Dr. Light is just like selling general use basic robots that don't have any specific purpose and they just kind of get used as whatever.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to see police robots. Like they've never been mentioned up until this point in this episode. So when they suddenly
No,
show
not
up,
at all.
would have
And
made
we find out they're under his control.
yeah, we don't know that they exist until we find out that he's controlling them. I think if we had seen some police robots earlier when he was trying to take over the power plant, that would have been good.
Yeah.
That would have set them up better, but whatever, it's a robot world. I can believe that they're here.
I can't.
I do wish that more had been done to establish a lot of the appliances as types of robot rather than... Because they're not even futuristic. None of the appliances are futuristic. They're all just
No.
90s appliances. Because that's the thing, like, it's not... it's not just that they're not futuristic. It's that now, looking back at them, they look like old appliances.
Mm-hmm. They're dated.
None of them are even cordless.
Wow, is that your vision of the future, Capcom?
Like, look at the phone that the police used.
It's practically one of those ones that you had to wind up.
It looks like the phone we had in 1992 in my house.
Yep.
So Mega Man fights off the cops and then gets confronted by Proto Man. And Proto Man seems to be like trying to get Mega Man to join them.
It wouldn't seem so crazy if you'd join us, bro.
Not a chance.
Have it your way.
I thought he wanted to destroy him, but maybe it's like, join us or I'll destroy you.
That seems to be what's going on, yeah.
He just misses his brother.
Yeah. He's just sad that his brother didn't turn to evil.
He's sad that his brother isn't cool like him.
Yeah. He doesn't have cool shades like him.
So they fight. Mega Man kicks him into a truck somehow or something, I forget.
There was a lot of fighting. After a while, it all just kind of blended into one.
Yeah. I love that there was a handy slot specifically for this thing that Dr. Light invented.
Right.
It's like-
Maybe that's where people would hide their pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And Dr. Light was banking on that.
So anyway, once the cigarette gizmo is plugged into the mainframe or whatever the hell happened, everything goes back to normal and everyone finally gets out of their phone booths. The train stops. The fridges calm down.
Dr. Wily realizes he's lost control.
So Mega Man shows up at the governor's mansion to fight the governor. That's what's
The
happening.
governor and his pharaoh.
Yeah. The shot of Pharaoh Man entering is really cool. Where like there's the glow behind him from the door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that intense glow is, but it makes for a cool shot.
They did make Pharaoh Man weirdly cool, just in general.
Yeah, it's funny because he's kind of a lame robot master, but
Yeah.
but they
In
did.
the pantheon of robot masters, who cares about Pharaoh Man?
Yeah, only the kid who's really into ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Everybody knows one of them. It's one of the types, right? You get Egypt kid, dinosaur kid, horse girl, and devil dragon.
Do I have to pick between those starters? I guess I'll pick dinosaur.
Yeah, I was dinosaur kid. I was dinosaur kid, and then I became Egypt kid for a while, and then I just became video game kid.
I feel like I was always monster girl.
Well, that's a good one to be. These shots where there's like a bright glow like that, to make shots like that, because obviously like when they're photographing the animation cells, they can't make those cells produce light the way they
Right.
could now if they were doing it on a computer. So what they had to do back then is they would actually like have to cut a hole in the background and then turn on a light box behind it.
That's pretty cool.
So that's how they made that shot with the intense light behind Pharaoh Man. It is cool. I love that stuff.
There's love in this show somewhere. It's just not really in the writing.
Oh yeah, the animators were really like selling this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shame that, because we talked last episode about how originally this show was going to look more like the games. There is
Yeah.
a pilot short out there which looks like the games, and I'm really sad that we didn't get that. But it was, I don't know, someone involved in the production at some point was like, no, they should look more like American superheroes.
Right. We can't sell this cutesy stuff to America. It's the 90s.
I like imagine how great this show would have been. I mean, I guess the writing still would have been the same.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can only make it look so good.
But it would have looked incredible. Even with that writing, I would have been like, oh man, I don't care about what's happening, but I love to look at this.
But my eyeballs enjoy it.
Pharaoh Man is played by Jim Burns, who also is playing Dr. Light. So we've talked about him before. And yeah, he's pretty cool. There's the part where Mega Man bursts out of a fountain and steals his weapon. And then like he stops to brag about it, but Pharaoh Man just punches him in the face.
Now I've got your power.
What exactly is Pharaoh Man's weapon? Because it just looked like a normal blaster, but like strong.
Let me look it up. Pharaoh shot.
I figured it was going to be something sandy.
Shoots a small sphere of charged solar energy straight forward or diagonally.
That is what he did.
This is the only weapon besides the Mega Buster that can be charged in Mega Man 4. It quickly charges solar energy in small amounts, eventually accumulating a large amount of energy that can be released as a destructive energy sphere.
You can shoot the sun at people?
Basically.
Like a Toho?
That's what it looks like in the artwork. It looks like he's throwing a sun.
That's fun. Maybe Pharaoh Man is cooler than we all thought.
Maybe he is. What is he built for? Does it say? Because usually all the Robot Masters are built for something specific.
Yeah.
But I think Pharaoh Man... There's a difference here from the games, because Pharaoh Man, I think, was built by Dr. Cossack, not by Dr. Light or Dr. Wily. But Dr. Cossack isn't in this show. So he's just been reassigned as a Wily robot. Yeah, he was. All of the Mega Man 4 robots were built by Dr. Cossack.
Maybe he just got a job working for Wily.
Maybe. Pharaoh Man is an investigator robot for pyramids.
What a weirdly specific job.
He has thousands of henchmen robots.
Good for him.
He's a charismatic leader, but he's too nice to women.
Too nice. You gotta talk down to him.
That's what it says.
Pharaoh Man's a simp.
Oh, that's what the English version said. The Japanese version said he was weak to beautiful women.
That's a very different thing.
It is a very different thing. He likes treasure and dislikes grave robbers.
I'm gonna put that in my dating profile.
I kind of want to see what it says about Brightman now. Where is he? Brightman. What's Brightman's data? He's equipped with a flash stopper that emits 1,000,000 watts of light and paralyzes the enemy's functions. Good point, he's an idea man. Bad point, he's a chatterbox. He likes inventions and he dislikes neon lights at night.
Do you think you can tell when he gets an idea because his headlight's up?
Yes! Probably. Wait. The Japanese version says that he dislikes neon lights at night, but the English version says he dislikes unmoral districts.
What? Does he dislike the red light district? Is that what they're implying?
I think so. Wow. I didn't know that Brightman was a Christian. Anyway, so Mega Man nonsensically blasts Pharaoh Man into space.
Well, he shoots the sun at him, and then they both go to space where the sun belongs.
Well, he picks up part of the fountain. He's like holding it up above his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mega Man shoots that into space, and Pharaoh Man just happens to go along with it because he's holding it. He doesn't think to let go.
Yeah.
And he never comes back down. And I don't think he ever appears again.
He spends the rest of the show in space.
I hope so. Yeah, as far as I could tell, Pharaoh Man doesn't show up again. I think most of the Robot Masters only make one appearance. Because, like, so many of them appear and there aren't that many episodes.
Mm-hmm. If this had come out years later, he could go up there and meet Galaxy Man.
Yeah. He would have crashed into Galaxy Man on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Galaxy Man ended up on Earth. So Wily gets away, and then the next day, Roll is worried that Wily could just do this again. A valid concern.
Mm-hmm.
But Light explains that he can't because technobabble.
The device I made had a security circuit built into it.
Yep. The pack of cigarettes they stuck in there makes it so Dr. Wily can't do it again because reasons.
Yeah. I feel like it would have felt less hand-wavy if they just didn't address it at all.
Yeah.
But the fact that they felt the need to actually put in this... Like, obviously the writer thought, well, kids are going to think, why doesn't Wily just do it again? So I better give a reason that he can't. And no, kids wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't even have thought that.
No, because we're taught to think that once a plan fails, they just never try it again.
Yeah.
They move on to something bigger and better.
They addressed that better in the IDW Sonic comic. Because when Eggman first gets his memory back near the beginning, Dr. Starline is like, that plan was so close to working. Couldn't we just try it again? And Eggman's just like, no, I'm on to other ideas now. And that's it. We learned that Roll has reprogrammed the maid into Rush's personal servant. The ultimate punishment.
Oh no, I have to spend the rest of my life with a dog.
Well, he's like dragging her around.
Well, yeah, that's just to punish her for trying to dissolve everyone in acid.
To punish her for being reprogrammed against her will.
Inside, she's screaming, but she can't fight it.
That's what bothers me, because, like, it's established that Proto Man, Cut Man, and Guts Man are all Dr. Wily's robots, right? That Dr. Wily has... No, they're all Dr. Light's robots, I mean. That Dr. Wily has reprogrammed. So they're not acting under their own will.
I mean, that's the problem with being a robot.
I
You
know.
get all these kinds of moral quandaries.
Well, yeah. So I'm like... If they, like, do recapture them and deprogram them, are they going to punish them? Because it's not like they had a choice. They didn't choose to do any of this.
In this cartoon, I think they would.
They would punish them? Yeah, I think so,
If
too.
it was a little bit more mature, I don't think so.
No. Well, anyway, that's the end. We've done it.
We defeated all the robot masters and sent Pharaoh Man to space.
Goodbye, Pharaoh Man. And Bright Man. Wherever you are. I'm going to look up whether Bright Man ever shows up again. Oh, he does! Bright Man shows up in 5 episodes!
Wow! He's got top billing!
No, 4 episodes. But that's still more than Pharaoh Man, who shows up 1 time.
Oh. He has 1 episode to be cool, and then we're never shown him again. Maybe they figured he was too competent and too powerful?
Yeah, maybe. It was too good.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, I think this probably says something about how cool they made Pharaoh Man, but Bright Man is in 4 episodes and only has 1 paragraph on the wiki. Pharaoh Man is in this 1 episode where he has 2 spoken lines and he has 4 paragraphs on the wiki.
Good for him. Immortalized in the stars and also the fan wiki.
Super fighting robot. Pharaoh Man.
He's living in space. Pharaoh Man.
How did you feel about this episode?
It's a mess. It's all over the place. But I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, me too. It was really nice to look at. I thought the animation was great.
Yeah.
I think the story has a lot of holes in it, but it's inoffensive.
The writing is very weak, but it's a Saturday morning cartoon.
That doesn't mean anything. They could put the Mona Lisa on Saturday morning.
Now I'm just imagining a Mona Lisa show that's akin to Everybody Loves Hypnotoad.
With the same sound and everything. It's just the Mona Lisa on screen for half an hour with just...
You're right, that is a riveting plot.
Well, I don't think there's anything to say, really. As far as I know, there's no legacy to this.
There was never a Mega Man game that addressed Pharaoh Man coming back from space.
No. Well, he never went to space in the games. He's in a few different games. I know he didn't only show up in Mega Man 4. Because I think he's actually kind of popular.
Good for Pharaoh Man.
I think he's playable in one of the fighting games.
It's a Mega Man fighting game?
There's a couple. Yeah. It's Capcom, of course there is.
True. I want to be a robot master.
Yes, you can play as Mega Man in Mega Man 2 The Power Fighters and Mega Man Soccer.
Oh, yeah.
He's also a boss in Rockman Strategy, which is a strategy game.
Oh, thank you for clearing that up.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Did I say that already?
You didn't.
No, I did. Thanks for joining us. Thank you to our first Patreon supporter who is not my mother,
We sang a song about him and everything.
Jamie Core. Thanks, Jamie Core. We did sing a song about you off camera.
Sorry we didn't record it, but it was also bad.
If anybody else would like to join Jamie as a club VIP, then please head to patreon.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club and kick some money in. And we're gonna make some more extras, but right now it's just conversations we had that got cut from the episode.
We're working on stuff, slowly but surely.
Yeah, we are. Coffee.com/Super Breakfast Friends Club is another place where you can send us money if you wish.
You can deposit your loose change and we won't tell the government.
But we will buy microphones eventually.
Eventually.
When there's enough money in the kitty.
The kitty?
Yeah. I don't know, that's just a word people use.
Yeah, but usually is referring to a cat.
No! Kitty. Noun. A fund of money for communal use made up of contributions from a group of people.
I've never heard that term before.
It's the first definition, apparently.
That doesn't sound accurate. I'm pretty sure it gets used as a childish way of saying cat way more often.
I mean, that's definition 2. A pet name or a child's name for a kitten or cat. Apparently, use of the word kitty shot up in the past 10 years.
I would guess so. I've never heard it until this very moment.
No, I mean in general.
Oh. I'm looking on One Look, and it is the third definition.
Well, it's still a definition.
It is, but it's not more popular than a way of talking to or about a cat.
Alright, fine. Bye!
I guess it's technically the second definition too, because it's basically on here twice.
Okay.
But first is the cat.
Alright.